everyone, Dami here, Dami of the Gen Z Christian Pod. We're finally here. I can't believe we are here. Oh my god, the very first episode of the Gen Z Christian Pod. We've planned it and now we are here. And I can't wait to unveil all the things that we have packed for you guys. Thank you for joining me today. So today is going to be like an introductory episode. I'm going to be telling you about myself for those that do not know me. And I guess a lot of people don't know me. So I have a few questions here in this jar. I'm going to be reading them loud and answering the questions. So let's go. Okay. So the first question here says, tell us about one thing you're passionate about. Okay. So I think I'm passionate about a lot of things. So it's so hard to just pick one thing. I'm passionate about a lot of things. So I grew up as a child. I was very observant. So a lot of things really caught my attention as a child. So and I grew passionate for those things. But if I'm going to pick one thing right now, I would say I'm passionate about women. I'm very passionate about women, and it's because growing up as a child, I say this a lot. Anybody that cares to hear me, I say it to everybody. I grew up in Abeokuta, and growing up as a child, they used to tell me that I was so ambitious because of my gender. So I was a very outspoken child. I was very outspoken as a teenager. I used to say my mind, say all those things, and then the people around me in those Abeokuta with limited mindset would say, "Damn, just shut up now, and you're a girl. At the end of the day, you end up as a married woman and a mother." So all this thing that I even say, you're being childish. They used to make me feel like I was just a child. And I had other people that were around my age during those times too. And they told those people to do the same things. And when I look at their lives now, they succumbed to what they heard growing up. And because of them, their life really did not really, I don't want to say did not turn out well, but there's so much that they could have done with their life, but now they are limited because of those things that they heard as a child because of their gender. And even till now, when I go home to Abeokuta, I still see things around me. I see women, and so many times I just feel so helpless. I wish I could do things for these women. And I always say to women that cannot relate to this, that you don't know how lucky you are, because if you're in an environment where you see where really they've limited women, you would feel bad. So I'm very passionate about women, especially women that are undeserved, women that are not educated, that are illiterate, girl children that grew up in a society where they don't have access and everything. So yeah. So let's go to the second question. What is one thing you wish people know about you? Okay. I think it's that I'm actually very shy. So if you see me and I don't talk to you, it's not like I'm proud though. It's just that I'm probably overthinking in my head. I'm thinking, what should I say to this person? I'm probably trying to find a way to avoid you, not because I'm bad or I'm proud, because I don't know what to say to you. So I wish people can just know that I'm actually a very shy person. So I'd rather avoid conversations. Sorry, I'm not proud. I just don't know. A lot of times, see, that phrase, it's not you, it's me. It's me. I don't know what to say to you. That's why I'm avoiding you. I'm not proud. So I wish people can just know that. Now let's go to the next question. Okay. Why did you decide to start this podcast? This is a $1 billion question. Okay, so if someone told me last year that I'll be doing a podcast, I would say no, because I don't like following trend though. I don't even like being the center of attraction, so I just want to be on my own. But late last year was a very, very trying time for me. I got in a job that that didn't go very well. That made me very sad. So I started the year on a low. In fact, by the first week of the year, January 6th, I resigned from the job and I was jobless. And so, but during that time, I wasn't sad because really, resigning from job was like an instruction from God that I had to obey. So, the last 3 weeks in January, I was just home. I was home. I was watching Netflix. Okay, I was home. I was watching movies. I was just praying with God, spending time with God. I was spending time with God to just know what job to take next and what to do next as a filmmaker. And then I just started hearing the phrase in my head, the Gen Z Christian Pod. And I know when you hear things and you're like, I'm hearing this, but I'm not really hearing it. So, but every time I go and fellowship with God, I would hear it, the Gen Z Christian Pod. And the more time I spent with God, the more clearer it got. I was seeing things and God was just showing me visions on how the whole thing would go. And I just knew, when something is just so strong in your spirit, I just knew that you had to do. I was getting strategies that really, they were not Dami strategies. I knew that they were not me. And I just knew that I had to do this. And even right now that I'm doing, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it. But so far, it's been good, Yeah, so that's why I decided to start the podcast. Now, the last question here in this chat. How did you encounter Jesus? Teacher. Teacher, you know I shared this, Abby. Okay. How did you encounter Jesus Christ? Okay, so Ah, God, this question. I hope I don't have that issues there. So people that probably know me now and know the way I am with God will probably think that maybe they gave birth to me in a Christian home and I used to go to Sunday school as a child. Nope. Nope. I was actually born into a Muslim, no, into a Muslim family. In fact, my last name is Karima. My third name is Karima. So my name is Damela Kende Karima, which I love very well. I was born into a Muslim home. My mom and dad Muslim, my grandparents, extended family, everybody in my family Muslim. And you know, as a child, I mean, that's what happened. I just gave it to me as a Muslim. So I used to cover my hair. I would go to Arabic school called Ilekewu. I used to go to Ilekewu. So I know all of these nuances. Should I call them nuances? But I know a lot about these Muslim things and Arabic things. I can say a lot of them because I used to go there as a child. But I was a very curious child. I was very curious, and a lot of things did not just make sense to me as a child. And I think that God used my elder brother because I remember we lived in a particular house at a point, but I was very child, I was like 2 years, and everybody in that house were Christian. They used to go to CSC. So my brother and my sister used to go follow them to church then. So they followed them to church. I think my brother and sister gave their life to Christ then, and my brother was very dedicated, but my sister was not very dedicated. So when they moved out of that neighborhood and they decided going to a new, decided living in a new neighborhood, they stopped going to church. So everybody in my house. So when I grew up, then I was like 2 years. When I grew up, it's like 5, 6, 7. I didn't know church. I didn't know anything. But my brother used to tell me a lot of Bible stories. So I had questions, and the only person that used to answer my question was my brother. So every time I had questions about life, about things, my brother would use scripture, Bible story to answer. And you know, when I was in secondary school, junior secondary school, I was doing Islamic religious studies. So I was learning a lot about the history of Islam and everything. But these things were not, I wasn't very inquisitive at it. I'm like, these things don't really making sense to me, you know. And I also felt like I was restricted. There was no freedom and everything. So I really had a lot of questions, but my brother would always talk to me about church, about the Bible. And then I remember every Sunday too, then we used to, my mom, she was a Muslim then, but she used to watch preaching every Sunday. She didn't go to church, but she watched preaching. So I had all of those things around me then as a child. And then I realized that a lot of those questions that I had, the Bible came close to answering a lot of them. Those Bible stories that my brother told me, shout out to my brother, told me came close to answering those questions as a child. And so that was how I found Christ. I used to say that I found Christ myself. Not like somebody came and preached, say, if you don't if you don't give your life to Christ, you will die. No, I found Christ. I was exceeded that with question, and Jesus Christ answered those questions for me. And so at the age of 13 years, I gave my life to Christ. I switched from Islamic religious studies to Christian religious studies in senior secondary school. And then that was how my journey into Christianity began. So yeah, that's like a summary of, so the story is long, sha. If I continue, we'll not leave here, but that's the summary of my salvation story. And just to wrap it up, now my mom is not a born again Christian. So everybody in my house now, everybody will go to church. But my extended family, of course, are still Muslims. We are still praying about it. But anyway, thank you so much. So that's a wrap on the introduction. There's still many more episodes that we have for you, many more episodes, and I really hope that you join us as we unveil all of these episodes. I will bring you so many. I will be bringing a lot of guests, amazing guests, and the things they will be, God, the things they will be giving you. So if you're a Gen Z, if you're a millennial, if you're a baby boomer, whatever generation you fall into, even Gen Alpha, my niece and my nephew, we should still watch. You missed to watch. Thank you guys for joining me on this first episode. Remember to subscribe to all our platforms so that you can, get notifications when we release all these episodes. So you can watch us. You can subscribe to us on YouTube channel, Spotify, Radio, Google Podcasts. You see us there, the Gen Z Christian Pod, or every other place you actually listen to podcasts. You see us there. Thank you so much for joining us today. For joining me today.